How you doing, everybody? It is Thursday, 21st day of July, 2022. I am Dan Kuntz, and it's going to feel like July again today. We may even get a little bit warmer than we were on Wednesday, and we got to 97 yesterday. 97 was the high in Wenatchee. It was the high in Moses Lake. It was the high in Ephrata. It was the high in Omak. Everybody got to 97. Nobody got to 98, at least in our viewing area. Going to be pretty comparable to what we've been seeing. A little bit of a cool down coming our way tomorrow. There's going to be a weak marine air. It's going to push in off the coast. Going to cool us down a little bit. Going to kick the winds up a little bit. Don't want to see that. Not quite to the red flag warning criteria, but, well, you know, nervous making enough. Warm temperatures, low humidity, wind. Forecast details are on the way. We have news. It was another busy day in the bullpen. We'll get you up to date with what happened. No Mariner game to report because it's the All-Star break. But by the way, the Mariners' first game back from the All-Star break, they got a home game against the Astros on Friday night. That game is sold out. Folks are on board. The Mariner bandwagon and the Wenatchee Apple Sox, they are playing really good baseball too. They won again last night without too much difficulty. We'll talk about that in sports. And at the back half of the program, you probably know by now, we've talked about this for the last month or so, the story of Arthur Summers, United States Marine Corps, who was killed in action in the South Pacific in 1943. The remains of Arthur Summers was found in 2019. He will be brought back here to the north central Washington area and will be interned at Evergreen Memorial Park on August 30th. And our very own Jefferson Robbins last week had a chance to visit with Arthur's remaining surviving relatives, the twins, David and Donald McCandle. They are the nephews of the late Arthur Summers. Donald and David will be talking to Jefferson in the back half of the program. 70 degrees. It's already warm. Here we go. What do we have out there? With our cameras around the valley, we have, of course, that view. About 10 minutes ago, there were a whole bunch of little bitty bugs kind of bzzz all around that lens of that PTZ camera. They have dispersed someplace else. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley, East Wenatchee taking most of the attention, and they deserve it. I'm all for that. And the hills are really starting to brown out now. There's still some green spots on the north-facing slopes in the upper elevations that they don't get really direct sunlight, so it holds on to the moisture a little bit longer. But for the most part, we are starting to brown out into the fire area. By the way, the Stamen Flats fire, we have pretty much good news on that when we get to news. It's pretty quiet up there. Camera 2. Uriah wants to head up to the lake, and by golly, that's a good time to do it. The lake is full, bathtub is full, the water is starting to warm up a little bit. It was really cool, you know, just a few weeks ago. That's the McNeil Canyon camera, which is high enough that we can actually look over the ridge to Lake Chelan. A beautiful view there. The Chelan Butte just out of view on your left. Good morning to the lake. Get ready for a busy weekend with the hot temperatures. That's going to stay with us right through the end of July and probably right on into August. It's going to get really warm next week. Camera 3. It's off to Cashmere. Stein Hill chimes in. There's the golf course. There's the fairgrounds. Yeah, beautiful view there of Cashmere. And, of course, look at all those orchards. Of course, as you know by now, we've talked about this, our news and sales guy, Cal Fitzsimmons, loves pears. He just can't get enough of them. So looks like it's going to be a pretty good pear season for Cal. He's excited about that, I'm sure. And camera 4. That is the burn scar at Stamen Flats. That's the little sliver of the Columbia River that you see down there on your left. And that is where the Stamen Flats fire is really kind of calmed down a lot. It's now 80% contained, and they continue to make the evacuation levels less serious than they were on Monday. Things were a little dicey on Monday and really on to Tuesday, but now here it is Thursday, and they're looking to completely contain this fire before the winds pick up tonight and on into Friday. In fact, speaking of that, fire concerns are fire concerns. Again, we're not quite at red flag criteria, but we're still going to have warm temperatures tomorrow, but the humidity levels are going to be bone dry, right around 15%. So grass fires, if they get going, they have the potential to spread in the heat of the day, and we're going to pick up some wind. We're going to see gusts 25 miles an hour or so here in the Wenatchee Valley, up in Waterville, down in Vantage. So any brush fires that are already occurring, for instance, the Stamen Flats fire, if they don't get her contained and start really laying down the fire lines, it could get dicey tomorrow afternoon and evening. Not going to be the case today as far as the wind. It's just going to be hot again. Yesterday's high 97 from the National Weather Service. Today's high right around 97, give or take a couple. A little breezy at times, but not too bad. West wind about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So we're going to do her again. 63 for the overnight low tonight. We're going to start seeing, if you're going to notice, in fact, it's already going on right now. There are a few high clouds out there. This is this upper level disturbance. It's some weak marine air off the coast of northwest Oregon that's kind of going to ease its way into the high pressure ridge, which is why we're going to see a few more high clouds, more wind on Friday, and cooler temperatures with a high of 90. So it's going to be kind of breezy tonight, Friday, and into Friday night. Then we calm down, and wow, here we go. Really gets going Sunday. Close to 100. Wouldn't be surprised if we get to 100 because the overnight lows are going to be very mild. Overnight lows will be in the 70s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the afternoon highs into the triple digits for the Wenatchee Valley. And, of course, there are other locations that'll be warmer still. So there you go, folks. Get ready for the hot stuff. No real break in sight. It's July. What do you expect? Going to take a break at 6.5 minutes after the hour and come back with your Thursday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today. Brian's Pizza and Bowling is changing their name to That Pizza Place. Now, there's still your same favorite locally owned family pizza and bowling center, That Pizza Place. Come hang out in downtown Cashmere.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
You asked, Link listened. Link Transit has rolled out improved services across the region based on what you said you wanted most. Redesigned routes, fewer transfers, more frequent trips, and added destinations. All make riding Link easier than ever. Grab a day pack and hop off at one of the new trailhead stops, or ride further on new services to places like Ski Hill and Sleeping Lady in Leavenworth. More routes running more often to more of the places you want to go. And of course, every ride is free. Find out more at linktransit.com/movingforward.
71 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. We'll do it again today. About 96, 97 for the afternoon high. Wind will be picking up. We'll see a few clouds tonight. Cooler, windy, little fire concern on Friday, and then Mother Nature's going to turn the oven on high by the time we get to Sunday. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Let's go ahead and begin with a live shot of our PTZ camera near the Stamen Flats fire. It's pretty much all good news. You notice you don't see really any smoke at all. The latest news is pretty much all good. It's still at 1,200 acres, where that's been the size of it really for the last 48 hours or so. It's now 80% contained. There are 125 firefighting personnel on site continuing to work on the fire, and all the level 2 evacuation levels have now been reduced to level 1. As you see by that fire, there are no red spots anymore, so all the remaining level 1 evacuation notices are still in effect, but the level 2 evacuation notices are now level 1. So in that area, on Monday it was level 3, then it went down to level 2, and now all of the evacuation levels are at level 1. And again, it is 80% contained. They're looking for full containment by the end of the day today before the winds pick up late this afternoon into the early evening hours. The Okanagan County Sheriff's Office are looking for a woman who they say robbed and assaulted another woman. This happened just after midnight Wednesday morning outside of Omak. The Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Morningstar St. Peter accused the 33-year-old victim from Okanagan of being a snitch before assaulting her and taking her phone and her purse. The victim said she was sitting in a truck at 95 Old Riverside Highway when St. Peter attacked her without provocation. Sheriff's deputies were alerted to the assault after a homeowner in the area reported an injured and bloody woman pounding on their back door. A deputy located the victim nearby. She reportedly told deputies about the assault, saying there were multiple bystanders in the area, none of whom came to her assistance. She was transported to Mid-Valley Hospital to be treated for her injuries. Law enforcement is asking anybody with information on the assault or the whereabouts of that person, St. Peter, to contact them at 509-422-7233. She faces charges of first-degree robbery and second-degree assault once they find her and arrest her. A driver for UPS is being credited with saving the life of a 7-year-old girl who was pulled from a swimming pool. This happened Wednesday afternoon at an RV park just north of Soap Lake. The Grand County Sheriff's Office said Brian Walters was making a delivery in the area of the Smokium RV Resort. This happened about 12:30 Wednesday afternoon when he stopped and performed CPR on the girl who had stopped breathing. Deputy Kyle Foreman said the girl was alert and crying before she was transported by helicopter for medical care. Investigators into the July 10th officer-involved shooting outside of Moses Lake released video yesterday of the initial shootout between Grand County Deputy Tyson Voss and 42-year-old Robert Gwynn. Gwynn was being sought on a felony warrant. The Columbia Basin investigative team also said the 9mm gun that Gwynn was using has now been recovered from the Jeep he is accused of stealing. Gwynn suffered a gunshot injury to his shoulder, but he's since been transferred from the hospital to Grand County Jail. Investigators said Boss's camera footage, his body camera footage, shows the initial encounter off of Stratford Road Northeast and said shots could be heard being fired at the deputy before the deputy fired back. Investigators say Gwynn later stole a Jeep that crashed on a nearby road after a pit maneuver by a Moses Lake police officer. The investigation continues. The results will eventually be turned over to the Grant County Prosecutor's Office. Here is that video.
Robert Gwynn is now southbound on Stratford in a dark blue Nissan Altima, Rattle Can Blue.
Whoever received her there. In pursuit or stopping it, yeah.
48 just advised me of the direction of travel. I believe he's following. Don't know that he's pursuing at this time.
Reporting, I'm attempting to catch up. We're southbound Stratford, 100 plus, approaching Tyndall.
100 plus, approaching Tyndall.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
430. Did you copy?
That four-way blinking red light at the intersection of Valley Mall Parkway and the bottom of 9th Street may soon be gone. The East Wenatchee City Council voted 6-1 on Tuesday to approve a $1.8 million improvement project at that intersection. It's a busy one. In addition to replacing the flashing stoplight with a regulated traffic light, the city will repave 9th Street all the way to Sunset Highway. They'll widen the sidewalks and create better access to the loop trail. Selland Construction was the winning bidder on the project. About $1.5 million of the $1.8 million contract will be paid for with federal transportation grants. Councilmember John Sturck was the only no vote on that. A Wenatchee man is charged with child molestation for allegedly fondling an 8-year-old girl. 29-year-old Velan Mendoza Calvario was arrested earlier this month after a neighbor reported seeing him touch the child in a sexual manner. Calvario was formally arraigned yesterday on a charge of first-degree child molestation and held on $500,000 bond. Wenatchee police said he denied the allegations. He has pled not guilty. The state on Tuesday lifted its drought declaration for central and eastern Washington thanks to our unusually cool and wet spring and early summer for that matter. The Washington Department of Ecology said the state as a whole had its second wettest May through June since 1895. State law says a drought can be declared when the water supply in an area is 75% below normal. The lowest stream flow in the state is currently the Colville River. That's at 86% of normal. A year ago, Ecology issued the drought declaration for 96% of the state. That was lifted in May for everybody except central and eastern Washington, and now it's been lifted for our area as well. And the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society has joined with a national organization to offer lower-cost animal adoption fees. This happens Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They need to relieve overcrowding at the local shelter. Jenny Ulrich of the Humane Society explains how it works.
This weekend we have a fun partnership with Best Friends organization. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this week, we have a reduced fee adoption event. It's called Bring Home Happiness. The statistics show that in 2021, shelters across the country had an 8% increase in intakes. And so we're hoping this weekend we'll move some of our animals that we have here in our shelter. It's all critters are $5. Felines are $25, and large dogs are what are they, $50. So we hope to see a lot of people coming down and finding their best friends or furry friends to add to their family. It's again, it is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we hope to see a lot of people down here to get an animal, and we hope Myra here gets a home.
Yeah, and Myra and Jenny will be joining us again here in about 15 minutes for our Pause for Pets feature, which we do every Thursday. I'll wake up Wenatchee Valley. That's what's making news. Grant Olson is got today off. And tomorrow off, for that matter. That means I'll be doing the weather forecasting. You want to see a train wreck? Tune in at 5, 6, and 10. With a preview of tonight's news, even though he ain't going to be here, here's Grant.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will have our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Hot temperatures expected again today with slightly cooler and breezy weather for Friday. We'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Cranstrom has the latest on the Apple Sox Kamloops series. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. We'll do our best to hold down the fort while you take a mini 4-day vacation. And don't forget, if you got a news tip, just want to say hi, look at the bottom of your screen, go to our Facebook page, email us directly, go to our website, ncwlife.com. I'm on record. This whole worldwide web internet thing is going to be big. It's going to catch on. Take my word for it. When we come back, Apple Sox are playing really good baseball right about now. We'll talk about Apple Sox baseball still to come still. We have the obscure holiday, today in history, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, some celebrity birthdays, and more. You're watching a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
56 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been serving North Central Washington with the same principles we were founded on, offering the best quality, great value, incredible comfort, honesty, integrity, and of course, made in the USA. Because so much of our inventory is made in America, it has alleviated a lot of the shortages companies are experiencing nationwide. We are overstocked and ready to deliver. So stop by and see us today or visit us online at www.crownfurnitureandmattress.com.
20 minutes after the hour, Apple Sox gaining a little ground in their search for a playoff bid. They beat Kamloops last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium 7-2. The final, Wenatchee is now a game and a half in the lead. In the second half standings in the North Division of the West Coast League after last night's win, Stormin' Joel Norman said it didn't take the Sox long to get the bats going.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox won their 7th series of the summer with a 7-2 victory over the Kamloops Northpaws on Wednesday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Apple Sox scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning to mark the 3rd time in these 2 games against the Northpaws in which they scored at least 5 runs in an inning against their North Division foes. And Jack Moffitt stymied the opposition with 5 scoreless innings. He only allowed 2 hits and struck out 6 to pick up his 2nd victory of the summer. Wenatchee will look to take all 3 games against the Northpaws as they face them on Thursday night at 6:35 p.m. It's a throwback Thursday as general admission tickets are available for just $2, and the Apple Sox will also be wearing jerseys that are unique. They have been designed in collaboration with the Colville tribes and pay respect to the Native American history of North Central Washington. Tickets can be purchased at saferseating.com. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you, Joel. Iva Arquette was 2 for 4 at the plate. He also had a run and a couple of RBIs. C.J. Horn contributed a couple of hits to the win. Wenatchee goes for the sweep tonight, as Joel mentioned, at 6:35. All right, to the Les Schwab's West Coast League scoreboard. Walla Walla, a town so nice they named it twice, scored 4 runs in the first inning, made a stick, beat Springfield 4-3. Brady Lavoie and Ethan Lovelace each homered for Corvallis in the night's 13-3 win over Cowlitz. Victoria scored 2 in the 9th to tie it, and then Grady Morgan's walk-off RBI base hit in the 10th won it. The Harbor Cats edging Bellingham 9-8. Ridgefield's furious comeback attempt fell just short in Bend. The Raptors scoring 5 runs in the final 2 frames, but not enough. The Elks win 10-9. Twos were wild for Yakima Valley in a 12-4 win. In Nanaimo, the Pippins scored 2 runs in the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. To win that game, Edmonton broke a tie with 2 runs in the 7th, went on to beat Kelowna 7-3. In non-league play, Redmond once again beat Port Angeles 3-1. And in Portland, the Pickles' Latrey McCollum hit for the cycle, drove in 9 runs, and they beat Willamette 31-3. So the standings, the updated standings. In the West Coast League's North Division in the second half, Wenatchee leads Kelowna and Victoria by a game and a half. Edmonton 2 games back. Bellingham 2.5 games back. The Vintage Hydros are back on Lake Aniat this weekend. Boats like that one will be on the water at Lake Aniat for the Aniat Vintage Race Boat Regatta, a name synonymous with hydroplane racing. Mark Evans, he says he and his brother Mitch still keep their feet in the mix when it comes to vintage boats that we will see on the river in Aniat this weekend.
Fun to be involved with boat racing. My brother and I used to run the turbine boats, and Jimmy helped crew on a lot of them and painted a bunch of them. But as time went on, the vintage boats have become very popular, and they're just fun to work on and go run and build on and play with. So we're excited about being down here in Aniat and putting on a vintage event.
Jim Labrie describes some of the boats they'll be hitting the water on the river this weekend.
The boat I run is basically a 21 foot, it's called a conventional boat where you sit behind the motor. I run a 427 with an 871 blower on it, makes noise, and she goes pretty good. And back in the day when it ran, it set a kilo record at 171, and then tried to do a return run, another kilo record, and was up over 200 and flipped and crashed the boat. But we have all different size boats. We're also going to have T-boats here doing an exhibition. Those are 13, 14-year-old kids, the future of the sport that'll be coming up. And like just a few years ago, me and Mark were 13, 14.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago.
Doing some boat racing ourselves.
Racing starts right around 10 a.m. both Saturday and Sunday. I'll go to about 5 o'clock. The race course will be set right in the middle of the Columbia River, just off Aniat Park. Go check it out. It looks like fun. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday, the 21st day of July. I could have picked for the obscure holiday National Be Somebody Day, but I checked and I already am somebody. So instead we're going to go with National, Junk Food Day today. You like your food high in fats and salt and sugar and all that bad stuff that tastes so good. Today's your day. Make all 3 meals junk food. I have a couple of friends who eat junk food and exclusively. They're quite proud of it. So go ahead and add that extra cheese to the burger, large fry, milkshake. The top 10 successful fast food chains in America by revenue. This is by revenue because, there's money to be made. Number 10, Panera Bread. We don't have one of those. The 9th most successful fast food chain in America is Pizza Hut. Number 8, Chick-fil-A. We don't have one of those either. Number 7, Dunkin' Donuts. The 8th most successful fast food chain in America by revenue, Taco Bell. They don't even serve food. I don't even know how they made the list. Number 5, Wendy's. Number 4, Burger King. Number 3, Subway. Number 2, Starbucks. And the most successful fast food chain in America by revenue, still McDonald's. And by the way, happy birthday to Mayor McCheese. Forgot to mention that yesterday. There you go. Scarf down some junk food. Just don't blame me when you have the inevitable heart attack. All right, 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, this trial was deliberately staged. It brought a lot of tourists to Dayton, Tennessee, which otherwise would not go to Tennessee in the dog days of summer. On one side, the fundamentalists. On the other side, the modernists. And up for grabs, can you teach evolution in school? And it was against the law in Tennessee in 1925. John T. Scopes did it anyway. And they brought him to trial. And they had all the big, Clarence Darrow for the defense and William Jennings Bryan for the prosecution. If you've ever seen the movie Inherit the Wind with Spencer Tracy, you'll know what I'm talking about. The whole thing was staged. When it was all said and done, high school biology teacher John T. Scopes found guilty. Of course, he was found guilty. That wasn't the point of the trial. He was fined $100, but it caught the nation's attention. And by the way, Inherit the Wind's a pretty good movie, too. Happened on this date 97 years ago today. July 21st, 1959. Took them long enough, Red Sox. 12 years after Jackie Robinson integrated baseball. Hell, Jackie Robinson had been retired for 2 years before they finally got around to integrate when Elijah Jerry Pumpsy Green became the first African-American to play for the Boston Red Sox, the last team in Major League Baseball to integrate. He came in as a pinch runner in a Red Sox victory over the Chicago White Sox in Chicago. The fans at Comiskey Park in Chicago gave Pumpsy Green a standing ovation when he came in to pinch run. They were under intense pressure from the African-American community in Boston to integrate the team. They just said, we're not going to follow the Red Sox anymore unless you integrate. They finally did it 2 years after Jackie Robinson retired. Among the players who tried out for the Boston Red Sox, Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Ernie Banks, Satchel Paige, Don Newcomb, Hank Aaron, and Frank Robinson. They all tried out for the Boston Red Sox, and Boston declined to sign any of them. But they finally got off the schneid 63 years ago today. We mentioned this yesterday on July 20th. They'd landed on the moon, but it wasn't until after midnight, about 6.5 hours after the module landed on the moon, that Neil Armstrong actually got out of the darn thing and walked down the ladder. And man walked on the moon 53 years ago today. And in case you missed it, it went something like this. Like this. Like, I can reenact it or we can play the video. What would you rather do, Uriah?
The surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful.
And of course, since there's no weather on the moon, his footprint is exactly as it was 53 years ago today. Also, on this exact same date in 1969, to celebrate baseball's centennial, they had a huge banquet at the Sheraton Park Hotel in Washington, D.C. before the All-Star Game of 1969. And at that banquet, the Baseball Writers Association of America named their all-time greatest baseball team and their all-time team of players who were still living. In 1969, it was a huge celebration. Babe Ruth voted the greatest baseball player of all time, still is, and Joe DiMaggio was voted baseball's greatest living player at the banquet 53 years ago today. Speaking of baseball, July the 21st, 1975, all summer long, the manager of the Texas Rangers, Billy Martin, was in a running feud with the owner of the Texas Rangers, Brad Corbett. All season long, they went back and forth on what song to play during the seventh inning stretch. Billy Martin wanted to play Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver, and when they did at Arlington Stadium, the crowd stood up and loved it. They clapped and they cheered and they stomped their feet and everything. Thank God I'm a Country Boy. That was the song that they played at Billy's request at the seventh inning stretch for home games. Brad Corbett was a traditionalist. He said, no, I want the organist to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game and have everybody sing along. And this went on and on, back and forth, until finally on July 20th, Brad Corbett, the owner of the Rangers, put his foot down and said, no, Billy, no more John Denver. We're going to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game at the seventh inning stretch from now on, starting tomorrow. On July 21st, 1974, Billy Martin, in the sixth inning of a 6-0 victory over Minnesota, calls the press box, says, I want to talk to the guy who's in charge of playing the music for the seventh inning stretch over the PA system. He gets a hold of the kid. He says, I better hear that John Denver song. And the kid said, I'm supposed to play Take Me Out of the Ball Game. And Billy said, play Thank God I'm a Country Boy, the seventh inning stretch. And he hung up. The seventh inning stretch came. The kid played Thank God I'm a Country Boy. And after the game, Brad Corbett, the owner of the Texas Rangers, fired Billy Martin. Billy Martin becoming the first manager in Major League Baseball history to be fired by the owner because they couldn't agree on what song to play in the seventh inning stretch. And finally, 11 years ago today, the Space Shuttle program came to an end with the landing of the Space Shuttle Atlantis, Mission 135 at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. It was a nighttime landing with only 4 crew members. They went up, they supplied the International Space Station, they came down, and that was it. Here is the final landing of the final Space Shuttle mission.
Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Hurley now deploying the drag chute. Ferguson rotating the nose gear down to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Having fired the imagination of a generation, a ship like no other, its place in history secured, the space shuttle pulls into port for the last time. Its voyage at an end.
Hey, thanks, Butch. Great words. Great words. You know, the space shuttle's changed the way we view the world, and it's changed the way we view our universe. There's a lot of emotion today, but one thing's indisputable. America's not going to stop exploring. Thank you, Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Endeavor, and our ship Atlantis. Thank you for protecting us and bringing this program to such a fitting end. God bless all of you. God bless the United States of America.
135 total missions, 833 crew members took part. Of course, 14 of them were killed in the Challenger and Columbia accidents. They built 5 shuttles, the Columbia and the Challenger, who were destroyed, the Discovery, the Atlantis, and the Endeavor. And of all the 135 space shuttle missions, how many of them were commanded by a female? 2. Birthdays on this July 31st. July 21st. Ernest Hemingway, the great American author, born in the state in 1899, shot himself to death at his cabin in Idaho. In 1961, The Sun Also Rises, A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is my favorite Hemingway book, and of course the classic, The Old Man and the Sea. Ernest Hemingway, born in the state in 1899. Don Knotts won 5 Emmy Awards portraying Deputy Barney Fife on the Andy Griffith Show. Of course, made the films The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, and then, of course, eventually Ralph Furley On Three's Company, Don Knotts, born in state 1924. We lost Don in 2006. And Robin Williams. Robin Williams would have been 71 years old today. 35 minutes after the hour, still to come, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Mignotti. Jefferson Robbins had a chance to sit down with David and Donald McCannell, the nephews of the late Arthur Summers, who was killed in action in World War II. His remains were found in November of 2019. He'll be buried on August 30th. Jefferson's interview with the McCannell twins are coming up. But first things first, Myra the dog needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Hello, my name's Jenny. I am the Animal Behavior Coordinator here at the Wenatchee Humane Society. Today I have with me Myra. This little gal is possibly the sweetest, most gentle gal we have here. She's an adult dog, smaller size, kind of husky-ish mix, but she's really small-ish. She's sweet, she's gentle. She does go to playgroup with our Gentle and Dainties. She plays in a really kind of timid style, and she's a little unsure, so she would be fine probably in a home with a gentle dog. Overall, with people, she has been fabulous. Any people she meets, she's a little bit shy at first, but as soon as you are gentle and sweet with her, she warms right up and is affectionate. She loves walking. She loves just time outside. Overall, this is just one of the easiest dogs we have here. And we really hope she finds her home soon.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for quiet hour. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary Seller's Assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, many years ago, when I was a sex crimes investigator, I handled a brutal rape case. Bad enough, but I also found out that the rapist was HIV positive. And back then, AIDS was a death sentence, and you didn't find out if you were infected for 6 months. Well, we did catch the guy, and the gal wasn't infected, and the bad guy died in prison about 5 years later. And when I called the gal to let her know her attacker was dead, she said, "Oh, that's so sad. A wasted human life." Well, smart gal. She didn't let the bad guy take anything more from her, and she had moved on. Here was a gal who had every reason to be angry and bitter, but instead, she let go of her anger and even had compassion for the guy. She's someone who learned when you hold on to your anger resentment, and bitterness, and hold it against someone who has harmed you, it's like eating rat poison and then waiting for the rat to die. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if you only had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties. Mary Maids, let us help. Bob's Burgers and Brews in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy great food, great service, and a great time. Only the best for our guests. We look forward to serving you. Stop on by today.
The NCW Life Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCW Life Channel today.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
The road can be a crazy place. Uh-oh! That's why Les Schwab Tires fixes brakes, steering, and more. And those guys don't. Keep driving. I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first, so I can backseat drive with confidence.
Help maximize your mileage with a free safety check. Just swing by. Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
I'm Jefferson Robbins with NCW Live TV. I'm joined here by David and Donald McCannell of East Wenatchee. David, can you tell me how old you are, sir?
76.
And Donald, could you tell me how old you are?
76.
The two of you are brothers, and that should make you twins.
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell me about where you were born and how you came to East Wenatchee?
We were born in Havre, Montana, and our parents lived in Chinook, Montana, which is 20 miles from Havre, which is where the hospital was. And then over the years, we've gone various places around the world, and then moved here from Edmonds, Washington in 2014.
And we are here to talk today about a relative of yours, and it's a gentleman that I don't believe the two of you ever met, but he must stand pretty tall in your family, Sergeant Arthur B. Summers. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about Sergeant Summers?
Well, he was born in 1916 on the 30th of June and in Poplar, Montana, one of numerous siblings of 2 sisters and 3 brothers. And
He joined the Marine Corps in 1936. I enlisted at Seattle, Washington, and then went down to, I guess, Naval Operating Base San Diego or somewhere in California. And that's where he started his career in the Marine Corps.
Your uncle joined the Marine Corps before World War II?
Yes.
And he saw service for about 6 years then.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what became of your uncle ultimately?
Well, on November 23rd, 1943, he was a Marine in the Battle of Tarawa at what was the Gilbert Islands, and then was killed in action along with more than 1,000 other Marines. And then in short order, the Seabees buried basically all of the people that had been killed. And his particular grave, which all was hastily done, was the exact location was lost, and then he wasn't found until a number of years ago, and was identified at his remains were identified at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam in 2019, and so. It's only in the last few years that we've been, working on the repatriation to the homeland.
Now, you two were born after your uncle's passing, and so you did not know him personally. But growing up, was he still sort of a figure in your lives? Did you hear about him or feel like you had an understanding of him?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't. I thought I heard of his name, and I knew he was killed in action, and my mother she was his sister, and she never spoke much of him throughout my life. I never really did know anything about him other than some of the basic details, very elementary details. So, no, I didn't.
Did your family, Don, assume that your uncle was lost forever?
Mm-hmm. He was officially noted as missing in action and non-recoverable.
His body was misplaced when he was buried, and a civilian organization called History Flight began looking for the lost souls in 2009, and they used various methods, aerial photography, I believe, looking for obviously disfigurements of the landscape and whatnot, and they did find what it was called Row D of Cemetery 33. It was a kind of a lost area, and then his body was recovered by History Flight in 2019. I believe it was the last of June or the 1st of July of 2019. But up until that point, nobody had any idea where his body and others, I don't know how many others, there could have been a dozen more, were. They were lost. Misplaced, I suppose you could say.
And Don, you told me earlier that when your uncle's remains were found, they were also found alongside a number of his belongings.
Yes.
And those have been returned to the family. Can you tell me a little bit about what kinds of things were found?
He had a pocket knife that is like fully encrusted now from being in the ground for more than 70 years. And he had coins from New Zealand, where he came from New Zealand to Tarawa. And those were sent to us along with his helmet. And they actually sent basically everything, including what was left of his boots, which is only the soles, and everything that was in the grave, including this ring, which was on his finger, which may be a diamond ring. We don't know for sure.
I don't think it is.
And
yeah, there you go.
We're going to have that identified. It's more than likely gold, and it's some kind of a stone.
Was your uncle married?
No, he wasn't. He died at age 27.
No.
And he went in the service at 20 and stayed in was in till he died.
When you were informed that your uncle's remains had been identified, what kind of feelings did you go through?
I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, after all these years, it was something like 75 years, now you found him? I had long ago given up hope. He was officially listed as body not recovered, which was like lost, and we thought lost forever. I almost don't believe, well, if it hadn't been for History Flight, he would never have been recovered, because they researched the situation. The Army and the Marine Corps researched the situation of the lost bodies there, and they never did find him. They obviously didn't have a clue where they were, because things were so confused that they were never able to figure it out. And so somebody did, History Flight. In the 80s, I had written to the Department of Defense asking for a memorial marker, which I did get and installed in Poplar, Montana, and it's there today, and on the bottom of that it says Tarawa. And it's in the memorial section, not where anybody is buried, right beside the flagpole. The mayor, when we arrived, the mayor came down and he said, "Put it right there." So we got our shovel out, literally, and we dug a hole, and we put that marker in about 6 feet from the flagpole, and there it is today. But the catch is, we never knew he was going to be, his body would be recovered. So I was shocked.
And while your uncle was in the service, he did have time to rack up a few commendations, and of course, as a slain service member, further commendation after his death. Can you show these to me and maybe explain some of what those medals are and what they represent?
We'll have to look it up here. This is the Purple Heart, and then there's the World War II medal. I see. They're nicely labeled, of course. American Campaign, United States Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, China service. He was stationed at the U.S. Embassy in Peiping, China. It's now called Beijing. At that time it was called Peiping, and so that's the China service. He was in the guard unit. They had horse guards for the embassy, and European American Middle Eastern Campaign, and Asiatic Pacific Campaign. They're all listed in this book here, but it does nicely say what they are.
That's fascinating.
The only heroism medal he got was getting killed. Other than that, he had campaign medals, which is great.
You've been working together with the Department of Defense on the repatriation, and so your uncle will be laid to rest here in East Wenatchee.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit, Don, about the plans for that service?
It's going to be open to the public, and we hope that anybody who's interested would attend. It's going to be at 2 p.m. on August 30th at the Evergreen Memorial Park and Mausoleum, which we have driven through. It's really a beautiful place. Last details will be coming together shortly. I guess in another couple weeks I'm probably going to be having quite a few phone calls and emails, and there's an awful lot of people involved.
And you expect your uncle to be laid to rest with full honors?
Oh yes, he's going to have the honor guard, and they've spoken numerous times about that, and I guess that one is, they're going to get some people together out of, I think, Seattle for that, and come out this way.
Is there anything you think people should know about the efforts that it took to make this repatriation possible? It seems like a huge project going back decades.
I would give the main credit to History Flight, the volunteer organization that steps in and attempts to identify if someone is in the military, and then I guess the military gets involved.
Would you like to see a good public turnout for the funeral of your uncle?
Yes, I would, because it shows respect for service people.
Had a surgery? Been in a car accident? Suffer from weekend warrior activities? Let Mount Stewart Physical Therapy and Chiropractic work out your aches and pains. This is Dr. Wayne Latimer. We've extended our multi-care practice to Mount Stewart Physical Therapy in Leavenworth. So, physical therapy and chiropractic. And whether you want to lift to get fit or you want to stay fit after your physical therapy, Balance Point Health and Fitness Gym is always open daily. Dr. Latimer Chiropractic Multi-Care Clinics, where we strive to do more, so you can too.
D&L Army Surplus in Wenatchee is stocked with items for the whole family. From ammo to collectibles and so much more, D&L Army Surplus, your one-stop shop for military surplus, survival, camping, and tactical gear. Bring the whole family and stop on by today.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCW Life Channel.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled out the new line of custom e-bikes. They have three-way adjustable folding e-bikes and full-size mountain e-bikes. Pedal assist and a throttle makes them a perfect fit for any rider. Green Motion e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
The 2022 Grant County Fair in Moses Lake is bigger and better than ever. Washington's largest egg-based fair features hundreds of animals, amazing food, and the Davis Carnival rides. And if that isn't enough, see supergroup Lone Star and country standout Cameron Marlowe on the Brian Miller stage. Come celebrate a return to normalcy with stars, stripes, and fair delights at the 2022 Grant County Fair. For tickets and more info, visit grantcountyfairgrounds.com.
Get ready to put a bow on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We have warmed up to 72 degrees. If you're just joining us, we got to 97 on Wednesday. We're going to be pretty close to that today. Then we have a weak cold front coming in that's going to shove into the high pressure ridge, going to kind of fly in and fly out. It's going to increase our clouds a little bit. Also going to pick up the wind, and it's going to be a little bit cooler. What does all that mean? Well, the wind means fire concerns. Now, are we going to make it to a red flag warning? Probably not. Certainly the relative humidity is going to be bone dry, but the temperatures and the winds aren't going to be quite strong enough to trigger a red flag warning, but still, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, we're going to keep our fingers crossed, because any kind of grass fire that either is already existing, such as the Stamen Flats fire, or those fires that may get going, could really take off. So we do have some concerns about that, because the wind will be picking up in intensity tonight, Friday, and a little bit into Friday night before we calm down, and then we really get cooking from the National Weather Service. Plenty warm for most folks, 96. Our forecast high today, again, we hit 97 yesterday. I think we might even get warmer than 96 today. 63 for the overnight low. The wind will be picking up a little bit. This afternoon and tonight, we'll have west winds about 8 to 15 miles an hour tonight. That spills into Friday. As you see, it's going to be cooler with that marine air coming in from the coast of Oregon. Going to cool us down. Going to see a few more high clouds, but still plenty warm for most folks, right around 90, and again breezy. And then the winds will die down on Friday night, and then Mother Nature starts turning up the oven. Back up to 93 on Saturday, 99, probably 100 on Sunday. Triple digits not out of the question as we get to the tail end of July. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we are in for some hot weather next week. And that is it for us. Have yourself a fantabulous Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.